Hi English 12. Welcome to week 4. I just want to give you a little bit of an explanation of what you're going to be doing this week, and this week you'll be focusing on Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal, which is an extreme form of satire. In order to introduce this topic, I had you start last week on Friday with looking up information on Jonathan Swift's Modest Proposal through Shmoop, and that gave you some videos that kind of discussed the idea behind his suggestion, I guess I would call it, and then taking that into consideration, you guys are going to be actually reading it this week. To start you off this week, I did analyzing modern satire. We see satire all the time. We see satire in something as simple as an opinion article in the newspaper or online. Most of us, I think, would say we've seen satire in the form of a lot of the Comedy Central news shows, so I put a few segments of that, as well as political cartoons, and many of us have seen those throughout our history courses in high school and things like that, where we look at what a cartoonist or an illustrator might be trying to say about our world as a whole, and the tools they use to express their opinion. So to start us off then, looking at satire, which is to make light of something that is really not so humorous, to give an extreme suggestion that is so extreme it may sound ridiculous, just to bring awareness to a situation. This is going to segue into reading Jonathan Swift's essay, which I broke up into 3 parts. So you've got part 1 reading, part 2 reading, a part 3 reading, and then your after read questions. So I did break it up over the course of the week, not because it's long necessarily, but because I think the content is difficult and sometimes the language is difficult to understand. So I really wanted you guys to take your time with it. And if you do feel like you're struggling, I want you to come in and see me about it so we can go over it. And then that's going to lead us into next week. And I'm just giving you a little bit of a heads up about next week, is that you're going to be writing your own modern day modest proposal. So keep that in mind as you read Swift's modest proposal. I want you guys to think about what he's suggesting, why he's suggesting it, and why he takes this route to bring awareness to the problems of poverty in Ireland at the time that he's writing this. For this week, there's a few things I want you to do. Number 1, in order to receive your credit for watching this video, I want you guys to think of 2 or 3 things that you think are the biggest problems facing today's society. And that can be in something as little as our community or something more global affecting the world. It can be our country, it can be our state, whatever you think some of the biggest problems are that we face today. I want you guys to just jot those down in a brief response to this video in the discussion. 2 or 3 things would be great, and that's going to help me put together a brainstorming piece for next week's Monday assignment. And then the second thing I want you guys to keep in mind is it is week 4, which means this is our first lock deadline. And so everything from weeks 1 through 3 is going to be locking this Friday at 11:59 p.m. So really a lot of all the career stuff you guys have been doing, the cover letters, and then the first major reading assignment, which were your Samuel Pepys. And again, he commented on big problems he was seeing in his town at the time with the Great Fire of London, and the king being basically exiled and then making his way back. And then also Journal of a Plague Year, which again is commenting on how devastating the bubonic plague was. And so again, these are all things that are facing society at different places and times, and that's segueing us into this modest proposal, which will then be pushing you into the modern day modest proposal. So we've got a lot of stuff going on with that, and I want you guys to keep in mind that all that stuff's going to be locking up this Friday at 11:59 p.m. If you have questions or you need help or you're confused about anything, please, please, please come in and see me. I love seeing your smiling faces. I hope you guys have a great week, and I look forward to seeing all your work. Bye.